Hello guys, I'm back with a new episode of the Great Marketer Show. Welcome to the Great Marketer Show. Today, I'm inviting the one and only Sahil Segal. I'm just telling about the few things about what is the Great Marketer Show. The Great Marketer Show is all about where I just interview the top and the great marketers, and where I believe that all entrepreneurs should take off their marketership hat and put on their marketer's hat. Because of the good marketing, we are able to make impact on the people. We are able to make changes on the people. Over here, you will just get all your marketing answers. Today, we are inviting the one and only Sahil Segal. He's the coach and the founder of Dream Client Seek. Sahil is living in Canada and he's achieved a six-figure income with his part-time business and bought his first dream house in Canada. So please let me invite the one and only Sahil Segal. Hi Sahil, how are you?
I'm doing good, Suraj. Thank you so much for inviting me over, man. Thank you for giving me this
Uh,
and chance to share my stories and values to other people, to your audience.
I'm so much grateful to have you on my show. Thank you so much for your precious time. Thank you so much, Sahil. Thank you so much.
It's an honor for me as well, man.
That's great. So, how's the weather in the Canada first? Just let me know about that.
It's a little bit cold. It's a little bit, I would say, minus 15 degrees, I think, right now. But inside, you don't feel cold. So the system over here is like you have heating, centralized heating, and all in the home. So yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Let's get started with the interview. And my first question is all about your backstory. And I have just heard this multiple times because I'm your student and I just watch your multiple interviews with people. So I want to know one more time your backstory. Could you share it with us?
Sure, absolutely. So, as I'm in Canada right now, I came here in Canada as an international student in 2015. When I came here, I came for my master's. I did my master's of engineering. So initially, those were the hardest days when I came here in 2015. As you know, it's a new world, new country, entirely new people, all that stuff. And it was really hard. I would say it was a struggling life initially. Had to do a couple of part-time jobs, like odd labor jobs, you can say. I have packed vegetables. I have worked in a car wash station, washed cars, and worked as a we get pamphlets at home with the newspaper. So I have distributed those pamphlets as well in the houses. We used to get a bundle of pamphlets. So a couple of odd jobs I did, and those were necessary at that time because I had to manage my expenses, my accommodation, groceries, and all that stuff. So and I came here with a loan of $25,000 Canadian dollars on my head at that time. I didn't bother my parents to take a my dad was ready to sell his car and some gold too, so that they can send me over here. But I stopped them at that time because it was my dream to come here in Canada for higher studies. So and I took an education loan of $25,000. So it was a, I think it was a, something, it was a burden on my head at that time with a $25,000 student loan, because I was working in India, and it was a decent job I was doing. I was sitting on a chair working as a doing an office job. And then when I came here, I was feeling like that, man, I made a mistake. I think, why did I leave all the life of comfort, and why did I decide to come here where nobody's here, no family, and I have to manage all this stuff? I remember I cried for couple of days initially, only because I was feeling like that I made a biggest mistake of my life. But there was no turn back. So much money was already spent on my tuition fees, my school fees, university fees, and other flight tickets and all that. So there was no turn back. So I was like, it is what it is right now. I have to live with this thing. So as the time passes, completed my masters, drove Uber sometimes in the evening time, because I had to pay off that $25,000 loan, student loan, and did some, in India we have Zomato and what is that, Figgy, and over here we have Skip the Dishes. So I distributed food as well, delivered food to the people. And by doing all this thing, it took me 2 years, I would say, to complete off my student loan. And luckily, I finished all that by working as a daytime, by working full time in a daytime job, and then doing Uber and all that Zomato in the part time in the night. Finished off that, and then went back to India for my sister's marriage. Supported my family over there. When I came back in 2019 December, It was the end of that 2019. So I started looking at that time like ways to make money online. Everybody does that, because I only had, I think I remember clearly, I only had 900 to $1,000 saved in my bank account after I came back from India. That was my lifetime saving, I would say. That was the only thing in my bank account. So I had to do something. Obviously, I had to get married. I had to, my dream was to get my first home here in Canada, to bring my parents over here, to retire them, all that. So it was a huge responsibility, again, as the only son, I would say, and elder son. So uh like in February 2020, I came, like I was searching ways to make money online, and I came to know about this thing, affiliate marketing. With that affiliate marketing, then I came to know about funnels. Then I came to know about one funnel away challenge. So my official, I would say, journey started in March 2020 with one funnel away challenge. That was the first product I bought or invested in during my entrepreneur journey. So that's how it all started.
That's really awesome. I can just relate your story because when I was in college, I also doing the late night jobs, and I also doing the night shifts in the call centers, which is paying me only $70 approx as per the India. I can just share that literally in this video. Before that, I didn't share that because I have to pay my college fees. That is approx the $100 that I have to pay for the month work, the 2 months work. I can just relate that how much work I have also done with that, and you are so much awesome, and you're just uh, hanging the fruits now, and just you can say feeling the success that you have achieved the biggest dream, that you have purchased your own dream house in the Canada. So the second thing is when you just started your online journey. So how did you get your first client? How was the journey that when you just started that particular 2000 March in 2020? So how did you just starting with the affiliate marketing? How did you get your first client with that?
Yeah, that was an interesting story, I would say. When that my first client was not from affiliate marketing. Excuse me. So my first client was from, what happened exactly. I was part of the ClickFunnels group and OFA challenge as well. I was doing OFA challenge, and I saw a guy was struggling with fixing a domain issue, or his SMTP thing was not working fine, and he made a post in the ClickFunnels group, and I saw that post. I replied back to the post and talked to that guy, and I we jumped on a Zoom call. I was like thinking, because I'm doing a full-time technical support job, so I felt like that this is something I can maybe fix. Let me take a look at it. Maybe I can fix something, because it's already what I'm already doing in my full-time job, although it was not exactly, but it was techie. So I thought, like, being a techie guy, I have a 5 years of experience in technical support, maybe I can help this guy. So we jumped on a Zoom call. I fixed this issue. It took me, like, I think 15 minutes to fix that issue, and everything was sorted out. The guy was so happy, and that was the epiphany happened in my mind when the guy asked me, Sahil, how much do I owe you? And I was literally feeling like, I was like, oh, can I get paid to do this stuff? Like, it took me 15 minutes, and that was epiphany for me. Like, how can somebody pay me for this thing? I have nothing in my mind. I was being transparent, honest, and I said that guy, hey man, this is what I did first time. I don't know how to value my price, how to value my time, and I have no idea. He said, no, no, Sahil, I have to pay you something. I said, it's okay, it's all fine. He said, no, no, I have to pay you something because of your time and knowledge that you have. He said, okay, then here's my PayPal ID. You can send me whatever you like. And then that guy sent me $25 at that time, and that was like, I felt like that. Oh man, that's the biggest achievement of my life. That I It just took me 15 minutes to resolve someone issue, and somebody paid me $25. Like, this is more than uh more than income of, I would say, uh more than 1 hour of income of an IT specialist. It was like, that is something unique. It just happened with me, and I got $25 in my PayPal account. That's how it started. My first client, unknowingly, without any, you can say, a greed or an intention to make money. I just helped that guy, and later on I realized that this is what is called, when people says provide values. A lot of time people get confused this thing, what do you mean by provide value? And this, at that time, I realized that this is what it means by provide value, and then you will see the results coming. So that's how it started. And then I what he did, that guy made a shout out post for me inside ClickFunnels group, that Sahil Sagal helped me with this thing. And two other people saw that post, and they reached out to me same night. They said me, Sahil, I'm also struggling with this issue. Can you help me this as well? I saw this person post in ClickFunnels group. I think you helped him, so it will be great if you can help us as well. I was like, yeah, sure, I can. I jumped on another call, did second call, third call, and then I started pricing my services. I was feeling like that this is something where I can build my business around. And I was just collecting payments from PayPal, and sometimes people paid me $50, sometimes $97, depending upon how much time it took. People, I was collecting testimonials, feedbacks as well. So I was building, you can say, social currency as well, plus the physical currency. So that was going on. That happened. That's how I got my first client, or some two or three first clients, I would say.
That's great. That's great. And this is really awesome. You just get a one client and who's just giving you the shout out, and the journey started with the clients, and you're just getting paid for your work. So when you're just telling that people are confused about providing the value, so could you share me more about how we can just provide the value to our clients, just like a funnel builder? So what should I do for them? If someone is affiliate doing the affiliate marketing, so how they can just provide the value to their clients?
Yeah. So my first advice would be people who are beginners or who are struggling or who are not sure like what about that value provide value means is basically, first of all, I want you to keep this thing, as Suraj, you are my student as well, you have been into coaching. I always say that keep the money part away from you. When you are going with the intention to make money from someone, or you think like that, this person, I can get, this person is the rich guy, rich girl, I can make $100, $200, I will, that's unethical stuff that you're going, or you're going with the wrong intention or wrong mindset. Whenever you try to chase money, you know that it will run away from you. People can smell it as well. People will find it like you are here not to help them or not to provide values. You are just here to make your money. So I think I feel more blessed that I didn't go with that intention, starting from very first client. Right, sometimes people say, Sahil, maybe you have made some money, that's why you don't care about money. But it started with very first client when I had $0, when I had didn't make any money. At that time I started doing that. Right, so go with that pure intention to help someone. You will see like that. I have helped so many people in my journey for free. Now I'm getting paid every single, some people took 6 months ClickFunnels package from me. Right, I made like $400 out of commission as of that. And every 6 months, I don't even now take care about that. People, I get messages from these guys, Sahil, my subscription is getting over, can you send me another link for to get 6 months ClickFunnels? And it doesn't happen just with ClickFunnels, it happens with whatever they need in their business. Whether it's, sometimes they contact me for paid ads, and I'm again being honest, I was like, I don't do paid ads, I can recommend some student of mine who can maybe help you to do this paid ad. I'm only doing organic. Sometimes they buy OFA through me, sometimes they come just a suggestion to how to sell their high ticket packages, whatever it is. So with the initial point where I was just going with the intention to help someone, that only thing helped me to get clients, like lifetime client, I would say. It, although it has been 2 years, but I'm seeing that with, and people just remember me for that, like, Sahil, I remember you on the first call. You were just helping me. You were not caring about how much time it was taking you to fix my issue. You were like, I have to fix this issue, whether it took you 2 hours, 3 hours. And then whenever I asked for money, you were like, here's my PayPal ID, you can send whatever you like. So that was like unseen in the market at that time, where people go with the greed or with their intention to make money online, from the student, from the clients, I would say. So take that intention away. When you are just going with the helping someone, just go and provide pure values. Being a funnel designer, you asked me this question, right? I was a funnel designer as well. So what I used to do, I'm going to share my secret, how I get like a 6 months of ClickFunnels package and all that stuff. So whenever I was going on a Zoom call or any strategy call, discovery call with the clients, I used to look at not just what the problem that they come with, I used to look at the entire business that they are already doing. So I used to find the loopholes in that business. I used to find where exactly I can add more value to this person. I see a problem, I see a funnel is not good, I see this, maybe they are using a VSL funnel, but it has to be an application funnel. So I didn't remain silent at that time. I was like, hey man, hey client, I think you are using a wrong type of funnel in your business, and I think your whatever copy is not good, whatever this thing is not good. I think we can improve more better, and I'm just giving you my suggestion. It's your decision now to take that action or not. This thing needs to be improved, and you can add this stuff in your business more than that. And people got like massive aha moment at that time. It was like, Sahil, this is what nobody ever told us, and everybody is just coming, taking our project, finishing the project, doing a one hour job or maybe one day job. They're building a funnel and then just running away. They are not considering their business. What I used to do, I consider, like, if somebody is coming to me, I'm going to consider their business as my business. If I'm being serious in my business, I'm going to be damn super damn serious in their business, and will see if there is anything missing that I can see in their business. Whether they come for me for funnel designing, I will look at the entire business, and it's going to just take me more, maybe 10 more, 15 more minutes to look at their business. And that's what I used to do. And that was like unique thing people found out, or people like, Sahil, you are genuinely putting out the time. And second thing, I used to cut that time out. Let's say it took me an hour to fix something, and now for the next hour I'm just discussing and we are brainstorming, I'm just giving them strategy or something. As I don't charge for that time. I didn't charge for that time. I just send them, hey, it was an hour, it took us to fix this issue, so you can pay me for an hour, that's fine. They were like literally asking me, why are you not charging us for the next hour? I was like, this is what I'm practicing. That was for the values that I deliver, so I don't want to charge for that right now. That's what.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, yeah. Continue, continue. You can just continue. I can just
No, no, that's how I
feel the
did it.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can just feel the vibe. How did you make that particular thing? And yeah, so the main thing is when I was just connecting some of the peoples, and when I just connected some of the coaches, they are just telling me about are you working also on the attraction marketing? So could you tell me about what is the exact attraction marketing is, and what how we can just do that particular thing to acquire the client and just take the attraction of them, the clients.
See, there are two ways, Suraj. Great, great question that you asked me right now. Uh, I'm feeling like I'm seeing, obviously, in the being in the market, I'm seeing people are doing two types of attraction marketing. First is ethical, first is non-ethical. The unethical attraction marketing is something you are lying about, you are showing off, or you are giving them fake promises, fake expectations, or showing them unrealistic stuff, right? Some people are even faking it very crazy, and which I don't like it. It's all unethical. You cannot build a business model based on unethical marketing or unethical attraction marketing. On the other side, when I talk about ethical attraction marketing, is when you are being, let's say you have, there is a difference between when somebody share, they made 5,000, let's say five, they cracked a $5,000 deal, and they cracked it with unethical, doing unethical stuff. And on the other hand, the other person made 5,000 by doing ethical stuff, right? So people will smell it. People will, one day they will come to know that you, how you have made this money. Or even sometimes people don't show the proofs, and maybe they are started doubting from the day one on you, right? And you yourself also are feeling guilty because you know that this is unethical, or this is cheating, fraud, whatever it is, right? So I avoid that thing. On the other side, as I said, ethical marketing, attraction marketing is something you are proud of that you are doing, and it is realistic, it is genuine, it is something you have done, you have achieved by doing, by helping someone else or by helping yourself. That's what it is. Whether it's showing off your result, whether it's showing off your client results, whether it is uh, attraction marketing can be done in any ways, right? You can, there is a lot of tons of content. You might have already know about it. In our coaching we discussed about a lot of pieces of content. You talk about your offer, you talk about your results, your client result, epiphany that you had, or maybe by showing the transformation post. It can be done in so many ways. But if you're doing it in an ethical way, you will feel like that, you will feel happy at the end of the day, that there is no point of doing business. According to me, there is no point of doing business when you are not happy or when you're feeling guilty. I faked up stories, made up stories. So I try to remain away from that. Do a transformation post, do a result post, whether it is, it's a good point I want to mention here. Some people think like that attraction marketing is only when I'll be able to achieve, let's say, $1,000, $5,000 to $1 million, whatever it is. Attraction marketing can also be done. Let's say if you have made $1 a day, think it of it as that there are people in the market who are, their dream is to make $1 online, their first dollar online. For them, that is attraction marketing. If you have made $1, if you have made $100, don't hesitate or don't shy thinking about that. I should not do this thing where other people are making thousands of dollars. Who am I to post $100 screenshot? Do it. That is also if you have made that money ethically. Do it, feel proud of what you are doing in your business, and you will see people will start following you. People are watching your content. Doesn't matter if you have made $1 a day or $100 a day. And just share your secrets as well. This is also a point I want to mention here. Share your secrets, share your strategy, share whatever you have worked. I remember when I cracked my first $10,000, I went on a live. I was so hesitated to do that live. I was fumbling, I was feeling like nervous, all that stuff happening. But still I went on live. Literally I shared step by step thing. I mentioned which groups I joined, which things I did, who did I talk to. I literally break down the exact $10,000 framework which helped me to make that kind of goal. And that video, people loved it. People were like, this is the most genuine video we have ever seen. Person talking about how they achieved $10,000 instead of just giving them some general points. I literally showed them the full picture how I was able to do it, and people loved it. That's how you do ethical attraction marketing, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. When I also watched that particular video that you are just saying in the car, I thought, right? Yeah, that
It
was
was in the
one.
park. No, it was in the
Right.
park I did. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
It
So
was
I got that. I got that. And this is the most important nugget for this interview that you have just shared that most of the people don't even earn the single dollars. So we have to appreciate ourselves to make them, yes, we have made this particular dollar. That is the dream of the other people as well. So the one more thing is when you are just sharing your content, when you are just sharing your post, everything that you are just sharing on your profile. So, are you planning any strategy on that?
while making my content, the only strategy, I don't use a strategy, I would say. I keep certain points in my mind for certain things, like core values in my mind, right? I want to, whenever I make a post, I start, first of all, stay away from any diplomatic stuff or any political stuff, all that stuff happening in the market. I stay away from that as much as I can. Second thing, I always think like I'm going to focus more on impact. I try to make a post, or I see my post first on the, I put myself in the shoes of my viewers or audience, how they're gonna feel after after reading out this content, after watching this content, right? Are they gonna get some values out of it? Are they gonna get some lesson out of it? That is also I keep a thing in mind. I don't just say, let's say I made a recent post, I made I closed $8,000 deal. If you see there is a message behind that, underneath that I mentioned that if you're not cracking, if you're not investing in high ticket, it will be hard for you, you will be struggling to crack high ticket deals. So there is a message also beside that. And there is a strong message about investment as well. I closed $8,000, although I got $5,000 in cash collected, but I invested $8,000. I put $3,000 out of my pocket to invest in something which I know it's going to help me in the long term. I invested in a coaching, I invested in my investment portfolio. So I'm building that particular stuff. So there is a message attached to it. It is not like I'm just faking it or I'm showing it off. I made that $8,000. That's it. Like there is a huge message. If people who understand it right, they get it right. Right, this is what I want to spread out to other people as well. If you are making money, just don't keep it in your banks. Invest somewhere, invest in your learning, invest in your something. So these are the points, impact, lesson, I can say. And I don't want to again fake up or make up stories, because you will forget. If you make up or fake up stories, one day down the road you will forget what you said or what you posted. So don't do that stuff. These are the things, only things I think I keep in mind. Plus I add, I would say, I add something called where a realistic element where people can relate it to me. They don't feel like that this person is at another level now, or we cannot relate. I don't know what Sahil is talking about. No, I stayed at that same ground and talk about like their language, what they can understand, where I am coming from. I don't talk about this stuff. I remain there so that people can relate more. These are the only things I keep in mind while posting or creating my content.
That's great. That's great. I also learned that the coaching that you have just shared us about every content idea should be impacted with the one message that you want to spread with your
Yeah,
client, with your audience. Yeah. So the thing is, when I just know about you, you are just doing the job. I thought you are not doing the job now, right?
I am doing it. I'm
Oh,
still
that's good.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah. So, but how did you manage all your time and spend on your business? Because time management is most important thing for online business and for everything. So, how did you manage your time and also giving your time to your clients and coaches or your coaching students as well as? So, how did you manage that?
Yeah, sure. I would definitely love to share my like how I manage it, and most importantly, I would say I love being spending now time with my family more. Obviously, clients plus my family. My clients are my family as well, but I think this is what I feel more blessed with, that I'm able to give my. I'm not like some guy where my family is saying we have to do this thing, and I'm feeling like I'm not able to go anywhere. I'm not able to attend that particular thing. Right, so I'm giving my proper time. I feel blessed on that. So initially I would say when you are when you are starting out, when you're a beginner, I it was hard, right? I did multiple things. So what I was doing, I managed my time. I think I'm also blessed at the thing where my job is a field job, so I'm on the field, I'm on the roads all the time. So when I started my journey with One Funnel Away Challenge, I was watching Russell's video and OFA challenges videos while on the road, right, while driving. I was like, literally, there were two phones. One was showing a Google map where I was going, and other phone was just playing all the videos in the One Funnel Away Challenge. So I utilized that particular time. I could have listened to songs at that time while driving. I could have said, like, I'm driving, I'm gonna feel more relaxed, I'm gonna enjoy the songs. But at that time, I use that time, I would say, utilize that time in a proper manner. And when I used to come back from home, from work to home, I just like keep my work laptop away, turn off my work phone, and open my personal laptop and start watching again the leftover homework or the videos that I was not able to watch during the daytime. So I watched that videos till I think I used to come back home at 5 p.m. And then after from 5, take a rest or something. From 6 p.m. to 2 or 3 in the night, I was like literally building my business at that time. I was watching everything because it was all new for me. Even what is a funnel, what is an offer, what is this thing, the thing. It was all Chinese at that time. So I started grabbing, I started consuming that stuff, absorbing that stuff. And those were the initial hard days of my life. I said no to so many things at that time. Whenever my friends used to call me for weekends, let's go to a club, let's go to do this thing, I used to make excuses. I was like, I don't have time, or I'm suffering from this, whatever excuses, lame excuses I was making. And I think that time I invested at that time with a pure intention to help people and focusing more on building my business. And COVID also helped me a lot because I started couple of days I worked from home. So I was literally using two laptops. I was replying back to the emails from my work laptop, using my personal laptop to watch my stuff. I was juggling here and there. My whole bed was looking like a mess. I found an old video of mine, my bed, my room. If you look at that room, you would feel like that house I was, how can somebody live over here? Like, it was so messy. Two laptops on the bed, the wires, cables, camera, this flashlight, everything, my bottle, the water bottle, and all that stuff. It was a complete mess. So those were the initial struggling days. But I utilized it weekends. Like, I used to get Saturday, Sunday off. So I, from morning till evening, I was just watching on my laptop, working, building something, doing something, all that stuff. Those were initial days. When how it started, because I was doing 4 or 5 different things. I was doing affiliate marketing, technical support, funnel building. I was doing coaching as well, one-on-one coaching as well, coaching calls. Then I started investing more in the high end people who were in the inner circle of Russell Brunson. I hired a mentor for myself. And at that time, I think my life started getting sorted out. Although financially it was draining my bank account, I invested $10,000 in a coach to learn, uh, to grow myself for my business. And I invested $750 an hour to learn from just a 1 hour of call to learn from a guy who was in inner circle with Russell Brunson. And those advices he gave me, advice, something, one of the best advice I could ever get is, kill your babies if you want to make $1 million in next 5 years. That was, I remember, I think I shared it so many times in my coaching call as well. And that advice, I would say, saved my so much time. I literally killed all my business models, funnel designing, freelancing, technical support, other thing, one-on-one coaching, and transformed, just focused one on one thing, which was group coaching. And from that particular time, in initial, I would say beginning of 2021, I started making more money. I started investing less time, started helping more people. Like, I would say, my clients, the coaching clients, and I was able to get more case studies. I was thinking like that, what is happening around this? Like, I'm doing less work, obviously helping more people, building more and more case studies. Every month we get like 10K, 5K case study, all that stuff was happening. To me, it was magical at that time. But I think that was the uh, one advice that helped me to save my time and use that time in an ethical way or in a productive way, I use for my coaching clients and got massive case studies. And now I don't need to. I work I do uh, two two sessions per week with all the students. Plus I have some extra support for extra students for who are going to the next level, who are taking like one on one. So that's all I'm doing, utilizing, or I would say spending my family time, giving them time properly right now, and taking care of my students as well. But I'm doing limited stuff. This is the lesson I would give to everyone. Don't run after here there. Don't look that this guy is making money from affiliate marketing, let me do affiliate marketing. This guy is making money from YouTube ads, or by making YouTube videos, by doing this. So I would say I protected myself from going into the different shiny object syndromes, and utilize my time as best as possible.
That's great. That's great. And the people, I thought some of the people are making the notes and understand the worst. The worst thing is if you are just having the shiny objectivism, so you are not able to give your time to particular things. I got that the thing, and I thought the time is going over. But I have the few things that your student also in the part of your coaching, they have the one question about, if possible, could you share some of your coach's name, if it is possible?
Some of my coaches, man, like people
Yeah,
who
yeah,
I get coached under.
yeah. So, yeah, some of your mentors' name that you have.
Oh,
Uh,
I have
yeah,
a
yeah. Some of the
limited.
actually, actually, some of the people in your coaching also connected with me, and they are just see my post and just ping me the message. Hey, Suraj, you have to ask this particular question for me. So,
Like, who are the mentors in my journey, right? That's what you're
yeah,
asking.
yeah, yeah.
I
If
have
possible,
a
if
huge
possible.
list. Yeah, yeah, that's fine, man. I don't hesitate to do that. These are the people who helped me to grow where I am right now, and I would not hesitate. Like, there are so many of them. I would say, starting with virtual mentors, I would say Russell Brunson, Steve Larson, and also I got a chance to meet them at FHL, so they are no more virtual. I would say, a lot of Dan Henry, my Myron Golden, Houston was one of them, and Neil Sarode. If I say people who are in touch with most, I would say initial ones were Blake Nuber was one of them, Doug Botton was one of them, and obviously my current mentor is Luca Senatora. He is one of them, and he has helped me a lot. Massive, massive success I got, and who else? Sorry if I'm forgetting any name, but these are the people that help me in one way or another. And there are so many friends as well on Facebook that help me to grow, to answer my questions when I was beginner. Lot of people. Like, yeah, there's a huge list, I would say, but these are the ones
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I admire.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We are in the environment of the people who are just making the impact on us, and we are just impacting on our audience. That's awesome. Really, really awesome. So the one more thing, or you can say a last thing, because I'm just not having your precious time. Okay.
It's okay, man.
So
No worries. The goal here is to provide insane
yeah,
value.
it is a Sunday. It is a Sunday for you.
Yeah,
I thought.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, how can people can join with you, and how they can just connect it with you? Could you share me any platform? Because I have just shared the one platform, the Dream Client Secret Community. So is there any platform so people can connect with you on
So
that?
right now I'm already using Facebook, so you can post a link to my Facebook. You can tag me there. People can reach out me from there. There is a few free group inside. There is a link on my profile. You can join me there. Plus, there is a website called www.dreamclientsecrets.com. That's what our coaching program is all about. So it's Dream Client and then Secrets with S.com, that you can watch. There is a case study of one of our student who cracked $10,000 in less than 13 days, so you can watch that. And there I talk about who is this coaching for. If you are interested in any case, who is this coaching for, who is it not for, and you can just book a call from there. And if we are a fit, we will see you inside our coaching program.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Any other last thing that you want to share, or any other golden nugget that you want to share with my people, with my audience?
Yeah, I made a video around it as well. I want to reshare it because this is what helped me in my journey, and I would not hesitate to share that. But for people, if you are struggling or if you are in the beginning state, and when you are not sure about who should you invest it, there are so many mentors, there are so many coaches. Should I go with six-figure people, seven-figure, eight-figure? There are a lot of them right now, right? And you are confused about who should they like. Everyone looks maybe from outside you think like that this guy is making result, this other guy is making result, this guy student making result, but you are still confused. Should I trust this person, should I not trust this person? Is it, I understand that this is your hard earned money. I have been into that stage where I was so confused to invest my money in someone, thinking about like how would I uh, get the maximum out of it, or will I gonna not waste my money into that person if I'm investing, right? When you are investing, first thing, keep this thing in mind, this is a prerequisite. So when you are investing in someone, keep your 100% belief in that person. First of all, take the shiny object syndrome away. 100% belief, like completely believe that person, that this person can or gonna help me if I'm gonna invest in that. Period. There is no other if or buts. Don't think like that, whether I'm going to be able to do it, whether, don't procrastinate a lot at that time. Just when you are not believing yourself, this is what helped me in my journey. I believed in my mentors. These people, these were the people who were motivating me, who were saying every day. My mentor used to say me, Sahil, you are a winner, you are a winner. And this thing unknowingly, I think it it settled down in my unconscious mind. I was like, I have to do it now. This person has a belief in me or faith in me. I have to make it happen. If I don't make it happen, this, I will be doing disservice to this person. It was not about money anymore. It was about your belief in other, someone other. When someone else is believing you, like if I say, Suraj, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, there is, you will feel like I have to do this. If this person is saying, there is something truth in it, there is something, there is some weight on that particular thing that this person is doing, right? So I would say keep your 100% belief. Don't be a victim of a shiny object syndrome. Let me try this, that thing after investing in someone. When you're investing, it can take you time. Maybe it's going to take you 1 month. Maybe other people have achieved in 13 days, as I said in my case study. Maybe it took you 30 days. Maybe it took you 90 days. But this thing is going to happen when, if you remain consistent, if you implement, you're going to make mistakes. Maybe you are not right, or you don't know how to do conversations. Maybe you don't know how to make a post, how to put out a content. Maybe if someone is approaching you, when you are going in a sales call and you don't know how to do even a sales call, there are different things, there are different parameters. Some people maybe are good at it, they have a skill, they have a talent, they have a god gift, something like that, and it is taking you time. So don't compare yourself to other people, why this person is has achieved and one I'm not, because you're going to become a victim of shiny object, and you're going to be wandering here and there for help again and again, and this is not going to lead you anywhere. Believe in that single person. If you are not able to make it happen as that person, just like Suraj, you have texted me so many times, Sahil, tell me where are the mistakes that I am making, tell me this thing, tell me this thing. So I ask you follow up questions. Suraj, tell me, what are you doing, what is has done, like all that stuff. So I want to go more in detail to find what is the real cause of the problem, right? Same thing, when you're investing in someone, instead of asking for a refund, instead of taking excuse or blaming somebody, why don't you ask that and ask for a solution, rather than being when you are trying to maybe, I don't know, you are, most of the time what happens, I have seen people who don't make money, they talk to people who also don't make money. This is the problem happening, right? People, let's say if one out in one coaching program, this person is not making money, and then you talk to another person, hey, are you making money? No, I'm not making money. Okay, the whole coaching program sucks, this program is not going to work. That's what you're doing. Why don't you talk to people who are making money, who are, there are people who are real case studies, talk to those people, surround yourself with those people. What these people are doing, they're making a group of all the negative people, they make a WhatsApp group, they make a, all that group. And I have seen this thing happening. I was like, why are you wasting your time by surrounding yourself people like you, who are not ready to implement anything, who are not taking action, who are just gossiping around or talking about that stuff? Why don't you surround yourself with the other people who are making it happen? Talk to them, understand their mindset. If they are getting client, you are not getting client, what is the reason? What are you lacking in? Maybe you are lacking in conversations, maybe your content is not that strong enough, maybe you are messing up on the sales call. Fix that particular thing and move ahead. Don't don't be Again, I'm gonna say, don't be a victim of shiny object syndrome. Believe in that person, invest in your learning. Second advice I would give to people is like, always use your due diligence investing in someone. Don't invest in some crazy product. Like I invested $10,000, but at that time I was making near about $5,000 a month. So it, for me to invest the 10,000, it was 2 months of income. So I could have saved the money, or I could have do an installment option. I did that, and I get into that particular thing, right? And I didn't invested 50,000, 20,000, $30,000 at that time, because I was, let's say, making $5,000. This person was making $30,000 to $50,000. So I had to learn to know how to make $10,000 to $20,000 first. If this person is making 30 to 50, he can teach me how to make 10 or 20. My goal was to make $10,000. That was the only intention I gave. I went with, and it happened within 6 weeks. I cracked my $10,000 result. If I could have, at that point I was confused, literally confused. That person I invested in a seven figure mentor, and there was a person who was eight figure mentor. So the coaching fees was same, both were charging $10,000. I was so confused, like, who should I invest to now, a seven figure mentor or an eight figure mentor? And I think I feel blessed I took a decision to go with a seven figure mentor, because I was feeling like the eight figure mentor would not gonna have time to look at my stuff, because that was my initial stage of building my coaching business. I need someone who can look at my coaching, who can give me advice, who can talk with me, who I can jump on a Zoom call with, something like that. So I invested the person who can understand me better. So same advice I would like to give to you all people. Look for the person first who can understand you better, who can give you personal support, who can give you answer your questions, who can reply back to your messages on Messenger. Not somebody who you just admire or who's your ideal. There is nothing wrong in it, you can take some courses from that, but whenever it comes to a coaching, look for a person, the next person who is making more than you, who have already achieved what you want to achieve, and just talk with that person and go with your full belief.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We have to make the surround with people who are just making or having making the good achievements and just achieving a lot. We have to make surround with them. I just got that, and I know I just take a lot of time of your time and
That's fine, man.
from your spacious time. So thank you so much for coming on my show, Sahil. And if someone is watching you, you can just connect with the Sahil. Is literally amazing coach ever, because I'm also his student, and this is the grateful thing that the second thing that I know about the Sahil is the great mentor ever. So Sahil, thank you so much. I will just connect you for a while. Just to
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
You're welcome, man.
So, hello guys. I thought you have just made all your golden nuggets and all your notes on that, and I thought this is the best interview ever that you have just seen. And we are just thank you for watching this, and we are just coming live with another episode with next day. Okay, bye bye. Thank you so much for that.